So our Strictly weekend has 7 more stars making their ballroom debut later and getting scored by the judges. But right now on BBC One, results from the grounds in Final Score.
Relegation.
He was one of the heroes of the afternoon.
Applause from the away supporters. Go! The latest score is Wimbledon through to the pressure.
John Terry's tears, we all remember. It was 2 crucial weeks.
Welcome to Final Score. In the studio next door, they're squeezing into lycra and adding the last coat of spray tan and makeup, so not very different to Robbie Savage's normal Saturday night. But there's no time for cha-cha-cha here, because we have a cracking Saturday of football going on, and we've been enjoying it in the company of the dynamic duo, as I shall now call them. Dion Dublin, not so much American, but Midland smooth, and Mark Bright has waltzed himself down many a linguistic cul-de-sac. The lunchtime fixtures in the Premier League today was just one, actually. It was a Merseyside derby, and it finished Liverpool today. Aston Villa 2, Wigan 0. Villa drew 5 of their first 6 league games, but they lead this afternoon. Agbonlahor has scored his 4th goal of the campaign, also set up Darren Bent for Villa's 2nd goal. And it's Blackburn Rovers 0, Manchester City 3. Carlos Tevez suspended. Sergio Aguero's limped off. Nasri came on for him. He's got Man City's 3rd. Their 1st and 2nd from Adam Johnson and Mario Balotelli. Manchester United 1, Norwich 0. The champions were struggling to break down promoted Norwich, but eventually Anderson made the breakthrough 20 minutes from the end of the game. And it's Sunderland 2, West Brom 2. All the goals in the first half, a very dramatic first half. West Brom were 2-0 up after 5 minutes, but Bentner and El Mohammadi equalised for Sunderland. And Wolves 0, Newcastle United 2. Goals from Demba Ba and Gutierrez have given the Magpies what looks at the moment like all 3 points from Molineux. Let's head around the grounds then. We're going to start at Old Trafford. Damien Johnson can tell us what's going on there.
It's still Manchester United 1, Norwich 0. A second-half goal from Anderson looks like breaking Norwich hearts. They've competed and created chances, Norwich, but failed to take them. Anthony Pilkington, the biggest culprit, threw on goal, a hero in the making, but he fired wide. United went straight back down the other end in typical fashion. A Giggs corner. Norwich allowed United 3 free headers in the box, the 3rd of them dispatched by Anderson. Pilkington came close to redemption a moment ago. A deflected shot came back off the post, but it's United who lead.
Chopra's 2nd for Ipswich today gives them a 3-1 lead at Portman Road in what looks like being a bad week for Brighton. But we're going to stick with the Premier League and go to Ewood Park. Richard Askham has seen Manchester City's 3-goal lead there.
Yes, hi Gabby. After stuttering through the first half, City have really opened up in this second 45. Adam Johnson got them going with a lovely curling shot into the top corner, and then Mario Balotelli. Blackburn have a shot that's well saved by Joe Hart. Formica with the shot there from range, but dealt with by Hart, and City have dealt with almost everything that Blackburn have thrown at them, which hasn't been that much really. Mario Balotelli got the 2nd goal for Manchester City with a great near post run and volleyed finish. Sami Nasri a few moments ago got the 3rd with a deflected shot. But City have really hit top gear in this second half, Gabby, and Rovers, rather sluggish, have had no answer.
Well, Southampton now have a 3-goal lead over Watford. They had a midweek wobble as well, but that doesn't look like it's affected them today, and they'll go 2 points clear at the top of the Championship if things stay as they are. But we're going to stick with our Premier League roundup, and we'll go to Molineux. Andrew James is there for us, Newcastle United, with that 2-goal lead.
Yep, and Newcastle, Gabby, remember, unbeaten in the last 4 Premier League away games. They look like extending that sequence. It's been their best start for 18 years. They're frustrating the home fans with some time-wasting tactics now. That's the booing you can hear. Story of the game briefly. Demba Ba with his 4th goal of the season for Newcastle, a near-post header from a corner in the first half. And then after Wolves failed to clear the ball defensively and in midfield, Gutierrez just went surging through a rare goal from the left-back to give Newcastle a 2-0 lead. Penalty appeals for Wolves then turned down at the end of the first half. Ryan Taylor tangling with O'Hara. Clearly a foul. The foul was given, but it was given as a free kick about 6 inches outside the box rather than a penalty kick. Wolves have made a couple of changes. Carl Henry, the influential midfielder who's been having a bad time of it late, he came off, but so far Wolves still unable to break the deadlock and on course, Gabby, for a 3rd consecutive home defeat here in the Premier League without scoring. It's Wolves 0, Newcastle 2.
Thank you, Andrew. Well, before today, Wigan had never lost at Villa Park in the Premier League. Ivan Gaskell, I guess records are made to be broken.
Yes, and this one on the verge of being just that. I have to say, baking in 28 degrees. I ought to mention a large tribe of Oompa Loompas in the Villa crowd. Alex McLeish playing the part of Willy Wonka here today, and Gabby Agbon-Lahore, rather like a kid in a sweet factory, really enjoying himself. Bright green, luminous boots, his performance catching the eye too. He scored the first, a brilliantly executed first half goal. He made the second, covering fully 50 yards, outpacing Wigan's one-pace defence before chipping a perfect ball into Darren Bent's feet. His finish pretty well inevitable. Wigan disappointing, on the verge, as you say, of a first-ever league defeat at Villa Park. More significantly, though, this perhaps their fourth league defeat in a row this season. It's not going well for them. It's going rather better for Villa. 2-0 up.
And before you say anything, Ivan, I am not Veruca Salt. Is that a goal?
No, it wasn't.
OK,
no.
just a chance. We'll stick with this then and go to the Stadium of Light. 4 goals in the first half, nothing in the second, but you've enjoyed this one, Steve Sutton.
Yeah, great first half. Gabby and Sunderland on the attack now. Sessegnon trying to put it through across the face of goal, but it's just been put behind for a corner. Quick story of the first half. West Brom 2 up inside 6 minutes. James Morrison and Shane Long. If it had been a boxing match, the referee might well have stopped it. Sunderland on the ropes. They cleared their heads midway through that half. Bentner and El Mohammadi restored parity 2-2 at half-time. Surprisingly, that's how it still is, although Sunderland have had the best 2 chances in the second half.
Thank you very much. Let's start with the misses, I think, at Old Trafford rather than the hits, because Norwich they've had some chances, haven't they?
As I said before, Gabby,
the best, probably.
I've seen Norwich twice. Well, seen them live at Chelsea. They created so many chances they should have won the game. Today, they've gone to Old Trafford, and both of us have said, when you create the chances they've had, you have to score. You know, because you're playing one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the country. Anthony Pilkington robs Ever of the ball on the edge of the box, comes inside, Lindegaard stands up, misses the target. I mean, they're absolute golden opportunities, and they haven't taken on it. And Manchester, as he said, they'll score. Man United will score.
See what Paul
to make changes, but
Paul Lambert would have set his team out to do exactly what they've done today. They've done what the manager wanted them to do.
They just haven't got that final finish.
Well, in the first 15 minutes, they weren't making the right decisions. Now they're making the right decisions. They're getting chances to score goals, and their finishing's been poor, or they've been unlucky hitting the post and stuff. But it's just...
In the first half, Barnett has a chance, gets to the byline. All he needs to do is sit the ball up to the far post to Morrison, and chooses the wrong option.
A very quick word, and literally a word, on Adam Johnson's sublime effort. If you've got to watch Match of the Day for any one thing, what a great goal.
Well, just that to stop the ball, move it just a foot or so, and then curl it into the top corner, as what you're telling the kids to do, you know, to practice these techniques. Fantastic.
Brilliant goal.
OK. Let's go to the SPL, to Ibrox in particular. Brian McLaughlin's been there for us this afternoon. Believe it or not, it's raining in Scotland. Most people watching this won't believe it, will they?
Yeah, they won't believe it, but it's absolutely pouring with rain here in Ibrox this afternoon. Indeed, one match just down the road here, Dumbarton's been called off because the pitch was waterlogged. Anyway, it's Rangers 1, Hibernian 0. The goal coming after 68 minutes from Kyle Lafferty. The ball floated deep into the Hibs penalty box. Defence failed to deal with it, and Lafferty calmly placed the ball into the back of the net. Stephen Whittaker missed a penalty for Rangers in the stroke of half-time, blasting the ball high over the crossbar. Hibs, though, have also come close. Junior Agogo sent clean through and goal by Gary O'Connor. A terrific save, though, from Alan McGregor in the home goal. We've played 78 minutes here at Ibrox. It's Rangers 1, Hibernian 0.
Blackpool now 3-0 up against Bristol City at Bloomfield Road. And Dundee United have got one back as well at Tannadice. Motherwell did have a 3-0 lead. Ian Turner's been watching this one. Any way back for Dundee United, do you think, or is it too late?
I think it's too late for them now. We have 10 minutes left here, and really they don't deserve anything from this game, Gabby. It's still 3-1 to Motherwell. Motherwell took the lead through Keith Lasley, and then we've seen a double from Michael Higdon. The first a gift from the United keeper Dusan Pernis, and then the second one a penalty. But John Daly, who incidentally has never been in a losing Dundee United side when he has scored, and he's played 90 games for Dundee United, I think that's going to change today, because he has just pulled one back, but I think it is too late. Dundee United 1, Motherwell 3.
Thank you. And the other big developing story in Scottish football today in League Two is that it's East 5-3, Forfar 3 at the moment. You know what I'm saying? We're very close to that scoreline. Keep your eyes posted there on the ticker. Let's go to St Mary's, though, where Southampton are not only extending an unbeaten club record, Andy Barwell, but they are looking like they'll go 2 points clear at the top of the Championship tonight.
Yes, Southampton lead Watford 3-0. Surely game over. Gulido Prado with Southampton's third, set up by the terrific Adam Lallana. Lallana has been absolutely brilliant this afternoon. Earlier, a couple of Ricky Lambert penalties for the home side. The first came after a handball by the Watford skipper John Eustace. The second after Lambert himself was fouled by Adrian Mariappa. Two very confidently taken spot kicks by Lambert, giving the keeper Rennie Gilmartin no chance. Substitute Richard Chaplow's also hit the post for Southampton. The score, not a fair reflection though on Watford, who have made a real game of this, but it's Southampton 3, Watford 0.
It's happened. East 5-4, Forfar 3 is on 83 minutes. Ryan Wallace is the man who's delivered commentators and pundits all over Scotland that delicious news. So many chances. I was being squandered. Is that the right adjective to use?
I mean,
you know, are they being wasted by Norwich?
This one's fell for Morrison.
Steve Morrison.
Up front. He's found himself on the angle, 12 yards out, and he scuffed his shot. All he's got to do is hit the target. The manager's going to be going crazy.
OK, they're apparently walking out at Ewood Park. It's, of course, 3-0 to Manchester City there. But we're going to go to Portman Road, where the Tractor Boys are giving their fans every reason to stay and be delighted, Robin Bailey.
Yes, they are. In the sunshine, they're celebrating. Brighton were a goal out from Vicente's wonderful right-footed curler in the 52nd minute, but the Seagulls have been killed off by 3 goals in 15 minutes. Michael Chopra's equaliser was a venomous shot from 25 yards. Ibrahima Sonko headed home Bullard's corner for 2-1, and then Chopra, a carbon copy strike for 3-1. Brighton 1 point out of 4, it looks like, for them. A third game running. They'll have conceded 3 goals. Ipswich, with their 7-30-somethings in the starting lineup, are looking really good for promotion. It's 3-1 Ipswich.
Let's go to the KC Stadium. Naz Premji watching what looks like... last time we were there, Cardiff City had a penalty. They didn't get it. How's it going?
Well, they've paid for that as well, because Hull City have taken the lead. It's Hull City 2, Cardiff City 1, and it's the evergreen Nick Barmby off the bench to volley in from the left-hand side to give Hull the advantage with 9 minutes to play. They've been on top in this second period and deserve it. Matty Friday it was that opened the scoring. It was Joe Rawls that levelled with that exquisite volley to make it 1-1. Then there was a penalty controversy. Kiss then subsequently booked for diving for Cardiff, and then Nick Barmby off the bench. Evergreen, he's probably older than Mark and Dion at this stage, but he's still volleying in at the left-hand post to give Hull the 2-1 advantage that they hold with 8 minutes to play.
Goal news from Selhurst Park, Jonathan Ledyard.
West Ham are back in the game with 10 minutes to play because John Carew has just finished off a Kevin Nodal cross, and it's 2-2. Crystal Palace having been G'd by goals. 7 minutes into the first half, Darren Ambrose. 6 minutes into the second, with Glenn Murray's third goal of the season. In between, we saw Kevin Nolan equalise early in the first half, then squander 2 chances. He's just set up Carew. Now it's all to play for with these final minutes to go in the sunshine.
The league leaders in League One, Charlton, going well at Bramall Lane. Andy May.
After scoring 2 goals in 3 minutes after the break. First, Jan Kermorgant headed in a corner, making it 2 in 2 matches for him off the bench. And then Bradley Wright-Phillips took on Sheffield United keeper Steve Simonson, slotting home his 7th of the season. Up until the goals, though, neither side really had a concrete chance in this top-of-the-table clash. It looks like Charlton's unbeaten run will continue. They're 2 up against Sheffield United.
Another goal at Old Trafford, Damian Johnson.
It's gone to substitute Danny Welbeck, his 5th goal of the season. It was coming. United broke down the right through Park, slid across the face of goal, and there was Welbeck to slide in to dispatch, and it's safe now. United 2, Norwich 0.
Let's go to Ewood Park for a goal, Richard Askham.
Yes, Gabby, a 4th goal for Manchester City. Steven Savage on as substitute. A corner, he met it unmarked and headed past Paul Robinson. And that certainly wraps it up for Manchester City, whose fans are now doing the famous Poznan just to my right-hand side.
See? If you're a sub and you come on for Man City, you can get a goal.
You know, both Manchester United and Man City have had a bit of a struggle today, you know, and then until the first goal come, but Manchester
until the breakthroughs,
City,
yeah.
absolutely dominant. And Man United, as always, I think, in the last 10 minutes of a game, I think they score more goals than any other team in the Premier League. And just proven But Norwich, we're just saying, Paul Lambert can have nothing but praise for his team. because they've counter-attacked, they've thrown players forward, and they just haven't taken their chances today.
That's the reason why they got the second goal, because they've got a little bit cavalier. Come on, got to score. Left it loads of gaps at the back, and Man United are the best team in the world at finding the gaps in the defence.
Because they're not playing with quite the same fluidity that they were playing 2 or 3 weeks ago, are they?
But they're not being allowed to. They're not being allowed to either. Man United are not being allowed to dominate the game.
A couple of draws, though, just like not quite as invincible, perhaps. And other teams would have taken those chances, wouldn't they?
Doing what they need to do.
Exactly, yeah. OK, let's get some reaction now from Goodison Park. The lunchtime kickoff, of course, was a Merseyside derby. A controversy with a Jack Rodwell sending off that most pundits, most people say shouldn't have been. Guy Mowbray has reaction.
Well, David, there is only one place to start. Jack Rodwell's red card. Your view of that?
I was nearly going to say your view of that. I think MD in football, if we think that's a red card, I think your people asked me yesterday before the game, and I done an interview for one of your programmes, and I said, you know, I think there's been a lot of tackles, and they said about the derby, and I said I think it's really important that you get a good referee. I don't know if today's choice was the right one. It's the first time we've had the referee since both myself and Steve Brown were fine when we played Manchester United 1 year ago. So I thought it was a surprise choice, and he didn't let us down.
I couldn't see from where I was. It's halfway across the pitch. I'm not trying to be evasive or avoid in any way answering the question. At the end of the day, as the referee said, if I never saw it, I can't give it. So
I said to them at half-time, no, we don't want to be using the referee as any excuse for losing the game, and I won't, because I said to them we should have defended better at both the goals. But it'd be difficult, you know. It was going to be difficult 11v11 against Liverpool. And we did. We said to the players, no, we've got to be careful what you do, careful with your challenges. If that challenge had been a reckless one, I could have said, hey, there's a point. That wasn't a reckless challenge.
Is it still as sweet as ever for you to win the derby?
Just enjoy winning. I mean, the derby's 3 points. It gives us a wee bit of breathing space for 2 weeks now. So I think within reason we'll enjoy ourselves. But as I say, we're not going to gloat. We just enjoy it.
You see, it's already through the video printer. Wolves have got one back. Let's go to Molineux. Andrew James.
Yes, Wolves 1, Newcastle 2. Is it too little, too late, though? It's a goal for Stephen Fletcher. That's now 8 in 12 league games for him. Lurking at the far post is Adam Hamill, one of the 2 subs Wolves brought on early in the second half. He went down the left-hand side and tried his luck with a probing pass to the far post. And Fletcher stooped to conquer. Well, not quite conquer, because Wolves are still behind. Wolves 1, Newcastle 2.
Is it too little, too late, from what you've seen? Have Wolves got it in them to get the equaliser?
They're coming forward and they're having a lot more of the ball as well. Fletcher's got them back into the game. You don't know, Gabby, because you never know what level Wolves are going to bring out. I'm just watching a Rooney chance there. He should have tried to chip the keeper.
Mick McCarthy will say he's had a nailed-on penalty in the second half, which the decision to give the free kick just outside the box has made all the difference if they lose this game 2-1, because I mean, it's frightening. It's frightening how it's a yard inside and Mark Halsey gives it just outside. So that would have changed the whole complex of the outcome of the game.
Just a quick word on the Merseyside derby as well. Jack Rodwell sending off.
Well, what wasn't? It was shocking. It was one of the worst decisions I've seen in some time, because he's done exactly what the manager wanted him to do. Got to the ball, won the ball, and carried on playing. But now he's been sent off for making a perfectly good challenge. Now, referees have got to be consistent with this. Yep. Certainly got to be consistent.
OK, thank you. We're going to go to Bloomfield Road now for an update with James Mason.
Well, Gabby, it's 5-0 to Blackpool, would you believe? It was only 3-0 only moments ago, but Daniel Bogdanovic has scored 2 in this second half, and Brett Ormerod has scored 1, so that's made it 5-0, as I mentioned, and complete capitulation for Bristol City. Keith Millen, their manager, under pressure beforehand, very much under pressure now. Easy shouts from the Blackpool fans. It's 5-0.
OK, let's go to the Madejski Stadium now. Jackie Oatley can tell us what's going on there.
And we're into the first minute of added time as Middlesbrough have a free under the post for Middlesbrough, and they, of the 2 sides, they do deserve to win the game, because they've had by far the better chances of the 2 sides, as Emnes has gone close in the second half, heading against the outside of the post, and Barry Robson also firing just seconds later against the outside of the post. And the longer the game has gone on, the likelier it's looked for Middlesbrough to score, as they have a corner now from the right-hand side. Robson as Federici comes out and punches away, and it's cleared away. And Borough, as it stands, heading for their third goalless draw in a row as the ball's played back in and it's behind for a corner.
OK, we're going to go to Molineux, a goal which I think has been disallowed, Andrew James.
It is. It won't count, Gabby. It was Kevin Doyle who bundled the ball over the line. Very similar to the first goal they scored. It was the substitute Hamill sent a long ball over deep towards the far post. It was pulled back from the byline, and Doyle forced it over the line. The man who pulled it back from the byline was Jarvis, but he was in an offside position, and the linesman, Mr. Richards, on the far side, wearing a baseball cap for protection against the sun, gave offside. And the cheers you can hear in the background are for a long overdue yellow card for Tim Krul, the otherwise excellent goalkeeper today for Newcastle, who's got a yellow card for time wasting. Still Wolves 1, Newcastle 2, and 4 minutes of stoppage time indicated here, Gabby.
Oof. Let's go to Ewood Park. It's all over there. And the combined goals tally so far with the Manchester sides this season, 47. 4 of them have come from Man City today in defeat for that man, Steve Keane. Richard Askham watching.
Yes, they have, Gabby. City fans are celebrating. Chants of Keane out just to my left-hand side from some of the Blackburn fans who are still left inside. Plenty of them left rather early as well, but no post-Tevez gate blues for Roberto Mancini's Manchester City. After a rather uncertain start, this was the most comprehensive of victories in the end at a canter. After Adam Johnson's stunning long-range opener, City turned on the power. Mario Balotelli, who could have had a hat-trick, grabbed the second before Sami Nasri's deflected third, and Stephen Savage's free header put the seal on it. Blackburn, whose fans, some of them left early in large numbers, initially stifled City, but once they had to chase the game, they barely mounted an attack of note.
Thank you, Richard. And to the Stadium of Light. Busy first 45 minutes, but neither side could break through for the winner in the second half. Steve Sutton.
Yes, 2-2, it's finished. All the goals in the first half. West Brom out of the traps like an Olympic sprinter. 2 up in 6 minutes. James Morrison and Shane Long. Sunderland cleared their heads midway through the half. Bentner and El Mohammadi had restored parity, cancelling each other out in the second half, although Sunderland did have the better of the chances. Brown heading over and El Mohammadi forcing a great save from Foster. It's ended on as even. Sunderland 2, West Brom 2.
Let's go to Villa Park now.
Villa, Wigan now have only scored 1 goal in 4 consecutive league defeats.
Let's go to the Championship now and to the St Mary's Stadium. A big win for Southampton against Watford. Andy Barwell seen it.
They're still playing here, Gabby. We're into 3 minutes of stoppage time. Southampton lead 4-0 and are really boosting their goal difference. Substitute Lee Holmes, who was only on the pitch for under a minute, having replaced Adam Lallana, and Holmes drilled home a 4th for Southampton. It's Southampton 4, Watford 0.
It is full-time, though, at Portman Road. Robin Bailey, a bad week for Brighton, good week and a good win for Ipswich.
Yes, I think this is the 3rd successive game that Brighton have gone ahead and lost the game. The 3rd successive game, they've conceded 3 goals. Not a good month for Brighton. That'll be a month when they next play since their last win. And they did take the lead. It was a wonderful goal from Vicente, but back came Ipswich. They really deserved to win this game in the end on their first half dominance as well. And Michael Chopra scored a couple of crackers. There was a header in there from Sonko as well. But just forget all this stuff about Dad's Army for Ipswich. 7 of the starting lineup in their 30s, but they did all right. The senior men are OK, and they're heading for promotion perhaps. It's 3-1 Ipswich.
Long way to go yet, though, in the Championship. We're going to go back to some scenes at Ewood Park, though, in the Premier League, of course. They are at the moment anyway, but it's clear today. The fans showing, first of all, by leaving the game 15 minutes before the end, and now scenes of protest there, Keane out, placards, posters, sheets being painted on, and they haven't just conjured those up now, have they? This is a long time coming.
Yeah, 1 win in 7, and you know, what a win it was as well against Arsenal, and just unhappy. I mean, I have to say, for a large portion of this game, I thought Blackburn did well. They frustrated Man City, they sat behind the ball and they defended really well. It's just that there's just things off the field that don't seem right.
You're not lip-reading that, they're saying sacked in the morning, sacked in the morning.
I think it's the way that they're conceding the goals, though, right? You know, they're conceding poor goals. The way that teams are scoring against them is too simple. If you look at the Norwich game, Norwich conceded goals, but they played well. I don't think Blackburn have done
the bad weather
enough
playing,
today.
The good weather rather playing right into their hands. Poor Steve Keane, if it was raining, they'd probably have gone home, wouldn't they? But they're basking in the late summer sun, and they're going to stay there for a while, I think. Let's go over to Molineux now. It is all over and Newcastle have hung on, but there'll be some interesting comments in the post-match interviews, especially from Mick McCarthy, I would imagine, Andrew James.
I think so. Mick's going to make good listening in a few moments' time, Gabby. He's just had a very strong word with Mark Halsey, the match referee, as he came off, and he was fair seemingly but firm in laying down the law to the referee. Clearly still very sore, Mick McCarthy, and from the pictures, understandably so, about the denial of a first-half penalty when Ryan Taylor of Newcastle fouled O'Hara. Halsey saw the foul, gave it, but he gave it as a free kick 6 inches outside the box. The pictures seem to indicate it was a yard inside the box. But that apart, Newcastle already 2-0 up at that point. Demba Ba and Gutierrez scoring the goals that gave Newcastle the advantage. One in the first, one in the second. And all around that, Gabby, Tim Krul in goal was superb for Newcastle. Some great stops in either half. Wolves got one back through Stephen Fletcher, and they should perhaps think they should have got a second when Kevin Doyle turned the ball in, but that was given offside. Huge frustration for Wolves, but Newcastle's great start carries on. It's Wolves 1, Newcastle 2.
Newcastle are third tonight, only the City of Manchester above them. OK, let's go to Elland Road now. It's all over there. And Adam Pope, the first time this season that Leeds haven't conceded a goal, incredibly.
Yes, amazing. Danny Pugh's header in the first half. Scant reward for their early dominance, but Portsmouth came roaring back in the second, having hit the bar. The introduction of Carnu then led to chances for Norris, for Pearce twice and Joel Ward. They all went close. Leeds forced to put two Finns on the pitch in Voronin and Purcell, but it hardly went swimming for them. But they had that first clean sheet. 9 away from home. Leeds hang on to a 1-0 win.
OK, let's go to Bloomfield Road. Plenty of goals for James Mason to talk us through for the home side's 3 points.
Indeed, Blackpool 5, Bristol City 0. An easy win for the home side as they scored 4 second-half goals to condemn Bristol City to their 6th defeat of the season. The Seasiders took the lead in the first half through Gary Taylor-Fletcher's close-range finish. Their second came from a free kick from all of 35 yards, a fizzing strike from John Joe Shelby. Substitutes Bogdanovic and Ormerod added 3 goals between them late on to compound the misery on under-fire Bristol boss Keith Millen, whose side are now bottom of the Championship and perhaps his time in charge is running out. Blackpool 5, Bristol City 0.
OK, let's get some reaction from Old Trafford. Manchester United 2-0 winners over Norwich. Danny Welbeck with the second goal. Let's hear from him now.
Danny, well played. You had to work very, very hard, but the right result in the end for you?
Yeah, definitely. I think Norwich stayed tight and compact at the back, and they made it hard for us, but in the end we got the goal and then we got another one, and I feel pretty pleased.
As the game went on, were you worried it was going to be one of those days?
Well, it's United, you never say die attitude, so we know once it gets to them stages of the game, we can't be impatient. We've got to keep playing our football, and in the end we got the goal, and we're all delighted with that.
Off the bench and on the score sheet for you, you're clearly enjoying yourself at the moment, despite the fact there's so much competition for places up front.
Yeah, there's always going to be competition at Man United, and you've got to relish that competition and just try and make an impact when you're on the bench, when you come off it, so hopefully I did that today.
And after the last 2, how important was it to keep a clean sheet as well?
Yeah, that's vital. I think if you want to win the Premier League, you've got to keep it tidy at the back. There's a few times in the game when they got through and had opportunities on goal, but just to keep a clean sheet today, we're pleased as well.
Thanks, Danny.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
OK, let's get the full classified results now with Tim Gudgin.
And in the Barclays Premier League, they ended like this. Aston Villa 2, Wigan Athletic 0. Blackburn Rovers 0, Manchester City 4. Everton 0, Liverpool 2. Manchester United 2, Norwich City 0. Sunderland 2, West Brom 2. And Wolves 1, Newcastle United 2. In the Empire Championship, Barnsley 2, Coventry City 0. Blackpool 5, Bristol City 0. Crystal Palace 2, West Ham United 2. Hull City 2, Cardiff City 1. Ipswich Town 3, Brighton Hove Albion 1. Leeds United 1, Portsmouth 0. Leicester City and Derby County have a kick-off in about 20 minutes. Millwall 0, Burnley 1. Peterborough United 1, Doncaster Rovers 2. Reading 0, Middlesbrough 0. And Southampton 4, Watford 0. In League One, Brentford 0, Huddersfield Town 4, Chesterfield 0, Colchester United 1, Exeter City 2, Oldham Athletic 0, Hartlepool United 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Leyton Orient 2, Preston North End 1, Milton Keynes Dons 3, Notts County 0, Rochdale 2, Wycombe Wanderers 1, Sheffield United 0, Charlton Athletic 2, Stevenage 1, Scunthorpe United 2, Tranmere Rovers 0, AFC Bournemouth 0, Walsall 1, Carlisle United 1, and Yeovil Town 1, Bury 3. In League 2, Accrington Stanley 3, Aldershot Town 2, AFC Wimbledon 3, Gillingham 1, Barnet 1, Northampton Town 2, Bristol Rovers 1, Cheltenham Town 3, Burton Albion 2, Bradford City 2, Crawley Town 2, Plymouth Argyle 0, Dagenham and Redbridge 2, Crewe Alexandra 1, Hereford United 0, Oxford United 1, Port Vale 2, Rotherham United 0, and finally Torquay United 1, Morecambe 1. In the Blue Square Premier, AFC Telford United 1, Hayes and Yedding United 1, Braintree Town 1, Fleetwood Town 2, Darlington 2, Newport County 0, Forest Green Rovers 1, Mansfield Town 1, Gateshead 1, Tamworth 1, Grimsby Town 5, Alfreton Town 2, Kettering Town 0, Kidderminster 1, Lincoln City 2, Bath City 0, Luton 5, Barrow 1, Southport 1, Cambridge United 0, Stockport County 1, York City 2, and Wrexham 1, Ebbsfleet United 0. In the Clydesdale Scottish Premier League, Dundee United 1, Motherwell 3, Inverness Caledonian Thistle 2, St Mirren 1, Kilmarnock 1, St Johnstone 2, and Rangers 1, Hibernian 0. The Ironbury Scottish Division 1, Hamilton Academical 0, Falkirk 1, Livingston 1, Wraith Rovers 1, Queen of the South 0, Dundee 0, and Ross County 4, Ayr United 0. In Scottish Div 2, Airdrie United 5, Stenhousemuir 2, Arbroath 1, Cowdenbeath 1, Dumbarton's match with Albion Rovers postponed, East 5-4, Forfar Athletic 3, Stirling Albion 1, Brecon City 0. And Scottish Div 3, Berwick Rangers 0, Annan Athletic 1, East Stirlingshire 1, Queen's Park 3, Elgin City 5, Alloa Athletic 0, Montrose 2, Peterhead 1, and Stranraer 0, Clyde 0. In the Corvette Sports Welsh Premier, Carmarthen Town 3, Airbus UK Broughton 1, Newtown 2, Avon Lido 1, and latest score Prestatyn Town 0, Llanelli 0, the New Saints 3, Aberystwyth Town 2. In the Carling Premiership, Ballymena United 1, Dungannon Swifts 1, Coleraine 2, Donegal Celtic 0, Glenavon 1, Glentorrent 3, Linfield 4, Cliftonville 1, Lisbon Distillery 1, Crusaders 2, and Portadown 3, Carrick 0.
Oh, it's incredibly tight at the top of the Premier League. Just one goal keeps Manchester United ahead of their neighbours City. Newcastle's victory at Wolves moves them up to third, ahead of Chelsea and Liverpool, who, of course, won the early kick-off at Goodison. Chelsea play tomorrow. At the bottom, Blackburn Rovers' defeat by Manchester City sees them drop a place. They're sandwiched by Bolton and Fulham, who play tomorrow. 1 point makes a big difference, though, for West Brom, whose draw at Sunderland moves them out of the bottom three and up to 15th. To the Championship, and Southampton are now outright leaders, 2 points clear at the top after beating Watford 4-0. Middlesbrough remains second after a goalless draw at Reading, while third place Derby face Leicester in today's late kick-off. Fourth place West Ham were held by Crystal Palace, while Brighton lost at inform Ipswich. At the bottom, Bristol City, Millwall and Coventry all lost. They occupy the bottom three places. Doncaster climb out of the relegation zone thanks to victory at Peterborough. And to League One, unbeaten Charlton won 2-0 at Sheffield United, a result that extends their lead to 5 points. The MK Dons are up to second thanks to a comfortable victory against Notts County, with Preston down to third after a shock defeat at Leyton Orient. At the bottom, that victory is Orient's first of the season, but they remain at the foot of the table. Similar story for Exeter, who stay second from bottom despite beating Oldham to claim their second victory of the campaign. Wycombe and Yeovil drop into the relegation zone after defeats today, with victories for Bury and Rochdale taking them out of the bottom four. And to League Two, Southend went top of the table last night thanks to victory against Shrewsbury. The Shrimpers now share that lead with Crawley, who today beat Plymouth 2-0 to claim a third straight win. AFC Wimbledon also made it 3 victories in a row. They're now just behind Morecambe, who dropped to third after drawing 1-0 at Torquay. At the bottom, Plymouth's defeat means they're now 3 points from safety, while Hereford stay second from bottom after losing at home to Oxford. Bradford led 2-0 at Burton, but eventually had to settle for a draw, and that result leaves them just above the relegation zone. And the leaders Gateshead in the Blue Square Premier were held at home by Tamworth, but their superior goal difference means they remain above Fleetwood Town, who won at 4th place Braintree. Wrexham rise to third after beating Ebbsfleet 1-0. At the bottom, their winless Bath remain at the foot of the table after losing at Lincoln, while second from bottom Newport came away from Darlington empty-handed, and just above them, Alfreton and Kettering also lost. And to the SPL, Rangers beat Hibs 1-0 to claim a 9th successive SPL win. That stretches their lead to 9 points. Motherwell are up to second after winning 3-1 at Dundee United. Celtic are in action at Hearts tomorrow. At the other end of the table, Inverness remain bottom despite beating St Mirren to claim their second win of the season. OK, let's remind ourselves then of the headlines from the Premier League today. Blackburn Rovers 0, Manchester City 4. Would you Adam and Eve it? Johnson's stunning goals set City on their way to a 6th win in 7 Premier League games at Blackburn Rovers as Roberto Mancini's side end a turbulent week on a high. Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Newcastle United 2. Denver Bar's 4th goal in 2 games sees Newcastle continue their impressive form with victory at Molineux. Wolves slip to a 4th consecutive league defeat. At Stadium of Light, Sunderland 2, West Bromwich Albion 2. The Black Cats staging a fight back against West Brom as they come from 2 goals behind to take a share of the points at the Stadium of Light. And you can see all the goals and all the incidents, of which there were plenty, on Match of the Day. Gary Lineker has that one for you with Lee Dixon and Alan Shearer at 10:30. And it's John Motson's first ever commentary for Match of the Day, 40 years ago, being celebrated as well. Thank you very much, Brighty. Thank you, Dion. Keep with us on the red button if you can for more reaction. I'll see you next time. Bye.